Hello and welcome to Sue's Diary of Trentino. This is my first watercolour diary and I don't think it's amazing, but I like it just because I've never done anything like this before and it was really good practice. So we went mid-August. We stopped on the way up. It was about a 7-hour drive up from where I live. We stopped at Passo San Pellegrino, which is this massive field really between the mountains where there was a farm called a Malga where they make traditional foods, cheese and whatnot, and there was some cows, chickens, and a little church. So I painted most of those whilst I was there. The next day rather, we went for a bike ride from Campitello di Fassa, where the campsite was, to Predazzo, which is about 45 kilometres away. It's my first bike ride for a long time, so that was a challenge for me. But in Trentino, the bike paths are really wide, really flat, and usually stunning because I think they're along rivers, and there's obviously some crazy bike rides you can do around mountains and through forests and things, but we didn't do that. We stopped up at a little town called Moena on our way. There were lots of little towns to stop off. Campitello di Fassa and Predazzo are in Val di Fassa, and in Val di Fassa is basically a valley, and there's lots of little things to see, lots of little villages, and we stopped for lunch and we got hassled by these little sparrows, hassled in a nice way. They're very cute. They had some of our crisps. And I managed to stop off and do a slightly bigger sketch on the same bike ride. This was about 10 minutes into our journey, and yes, lovely little bridges, lots of little bridges. For the bike paths, you go along one side of the river and you can swap to the other side of the river. It's not just one bike path, there seem to be about 2 or 3 that you can choose between. And everywhere are these lovely fireweeds. I meant to finish this off and do some stamens, but really nice. And my friend always asks me about these did I intend to do this and this? I always answer yes, because I really like them. I never used to. When I was learning, I didn't like them, but I now, because I know when they're going to happen, or I can make them happen, then it's okay. But when you're learning, these things happen, cauliflowers happen, and you don't want them there. It's basically when you've got too much paint and you've got a little bit of a puddle and it creates this effect. Or if you want to manually create the effect when you've just painted over, you've just done a bit of painting and you put a blob of clear water on, and the clear water pushes the colour to the side. So I use it quite a lot in my paintings. Oh, hang on. Let me just open up the shutters. I've done this video about 20 times now. I could redo it, but I'm not going to. This was for the following day. We went for an excursion in the mountains. There's lots of these marmotte, marmots. I'd never heard of them before, in Italian or English, but they're massive prairie dogs basically, and they chirp, and you can hear them chirping whilst you're walking around, and if you get your binoculars out and you're lucky enough, you can spot them usually on a crest somewhere. And we stopped off at a rifugio, sort of a cafe in the mountains, just to have a bit of a break, and sometimes there's places to stay. This is a walk, my friend on his walk. This is how he actually walks. This isn't me just doing a bad impression of him. He walks with his hands straight down like he's some sort of gorilla. This was from the following day. We went to Lago di Carezza, which was absolutely stunning, really lovely, very touristy, but the water was crystal clear. You can see 17 meters down. It's called the Lake of Rainbows because of the sheer number of colours that you can see depending on what time of day it is. Surrounded by these spruce forests. It's sad because they're not as surrounded with the spruce forest as they were, because in 2018 the area was hit by an absolutely massive storm which ripped out 100,000 hectares of spruce trees. They've got a really low, wide root base, so I think it was just easy for the storm to rip them out. Terrible. The following day we went to the mountains again. My friend did a crazy climb whilst I did some painting. I don't like this painting much, but I can tell you, we went up here on our first walk. There's a gondola and you can walk down from there. We walked back down to the campsite. This was from another little bike ride that we did. So instead of going from Campitello di Fassa to Predazzo, we went from Campitello to Pena, and there was this antique sawmill on the path of the river with this guy that was giving demonstrations. So he had a massive log which he was cutting up, and we had a good chat with him. Actually, it was very interesting. Almost couldn't understand a word. They speak in a sort of a bit of a dialect up there. This is me practicing the spruce trees. A bit weak here, prefer these ones. I did a lovely little sketch of the view from the campsite. This was in the morning. And then I left it in the tent to dry, but our tent leaked. And so it had about 8 hours of water dripping on it. And so it got ruined. This was a donkey from the first day of our bike ride. On the bike ride, there's so many things to see and do as you stop. Sort of adventure playgrounds, cafes, I don't know, people were doing horse riding, and they have all these little cute little animals that just seem to be there for entertaining the people that go past. So there was donkeys and rabbits and chickens, and this was this very pink man was the guy from the antique sawmill. He did not work out as well as I had hoped. I was trying to take a bit of a break from doing the landscapes because I find them quite difficult. And usually I find portraits a lot easier, but in the tent that was leaking, it was quite a challenge because the paint's just never dried. So he's got his little Val di Fassa hat. The following day we went off to Val Pusteria, the Valley of Pusteria. Which was lovely, and we found a campsite on Lago di Dobbiaco. This was a very quick sketch before it started tipping down, and you can see the ominous clouds and the weather. I wish I would have strengthened, I mean, all of these pictures I look at and I think, oh, I wish I could have strengthened this more to bring this forward, but I only ever had about 5 minutes because my friend was always waiting for me. This was from Lago di Brais, lovely lake that you can walk all the way around and you can hire canoes. The following day we went to, this is a 10-day trip, you've only got one more day left, keep going. We went for a bike ride from San Candido, just in Trentino still, and the border of Italy, all the way to Lienz in Austria. So I have cycled to Austria. It was about 45 kilometres or so. Again, bike path, there's mostly downhill, very wide, it's nice, so it's quite easy. Lienz is completely different, architecture-wise. They've got those sort of cute little domes and stuff, and all the way in Trentino they've got these lovely churches with massive steeples. And when we came back, the church was shrouded in mist, and I tried to capture that. I think I did it right over here, not so sure here. Anyway, everything's 5 minutes, so please don't judge. This last one was from Brunico, lovely little town on the way back to Sarnano, where I live. Still in Trentino. And it was a lovely little town. I really liked it. It's got a castle. I would have done more sketches had I had more time. Whilst I was sketching this one, in fact, some lady was filming me and taking pictures. I feel famous. Anyway, that's the end. I hope you've enjoyed my little watercolour diary. It's nothing special, but I really enjoyed painting in a book because it meant that I could practice rather than trying to produce anything that could be wall-worthy, as it were. So I had fun, and I will do another one next time I go away. Okay, thank you for your time.